Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Allergies are kicking my tail this morning. Pollen is pretty rough, but it's cold this morning for the end of April, right at the start of May. Really chilly down here in the Piedmont of North Carolina. I've got to get this oak milled up today. I'm looking for a 2-inch slab out of it for a fella that wants to make an ice table to go in the entryway to his church. And I told him I would sacrifice a firewood log to make him a slab. So that's what I'm doing today, but I've got to do some trimming because this thing is the stump end and it's wider than what the mill head will go past. It's currently about 27 inches side to side. I need to trim off a little over here. So I'm going to fire up my old Stihl Farm Boss MS290. 20-some-year-old saw, y'all. Needs a little work done, but I like to crank it up every now and then. Trim a little bit off, and we're going to get to milling this slab. And in a few days, we'll be planting gardens, working on an off-grid cabin, and probably splitting more firewood. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. I'm going to go get by a fire, I think, and then I'll get to milling. I think that's going to do the trick. We'll see if we can get the mill head by it, then I'll know for sure. And y'all, that thing's throwing some pretty good ribbons. Not bad at all. All right, I believe the mill head will go through here, no problem now. Pretty good sized log, y'all. I can't even get the log clamps hooked and allow the track, the mill head to actually roll across the track. So I'll throw a few small boards down like I've shown you in the past, how to do that, just to stabilize it for the first cut or two. And once we roll this log and start working it into a 3-sided cant, because it's gonna be a live edge slab, then I'll be able to use those log clamps. But for now, we'll fire up the EZ Boardwalk Jr. and get to milling. As y'all can see there, it doesn't always go as planned. It's not the first time I've choked one down doing this. Because the log rolled just a little bit, didn't have quite enough support underneath that log down on the frame. So it wanted to roll with me when I was cutting through it, choked it down. Didn't bend the blade, thank goodness, because it's a fairly fresh blade. Hate to make a mistake like that, but got it back going, got that cut off. Gonna have to make a few more, just the way I just did here, without those log clamps on, and I hate doing it that way, but sometimes it's just the way you have to do it. I'm starting to think this should be a video about what not to do when sawmilling. To start with, these oversized logs on a mill that's not really designed for it. Yeah, you can do it, but as you just saw, I got a little overzealous towards the end of my cut. Didn't have, I needed like 1/4 of an inch of it clearing my slide that goes across and helps keep my blade tighter. And I decided to try to force it. Fortunately, it's an old blade. It still had some life in it, but I snapped it, y'all. So I'm going to, what does it say in football? I used to play, I should know. Drop back and punt. Get a new blade on here. Get this log resituated the way I want it. Get this cut done, then I can roll this thing and get my clamps on. So don't do what I did. Don't force it. Well, the good thing is I didn't break the blade. The bad thing is I bent it. And I bent it pretty good. But y'all, I think I can actually, looking at the blade, I'm not seeing any cracks that I can see with the naked eye. I think I can bend it back out and use it. I'm gonna try anyways, but y'all, it's amazing how simple things like this can remind us of life. If I hadn't tried to force that, this blade wouldn't have bent and popped off of my wheels. If I'd have just slowed down, reset the log a little bit, disengaged the blade, I could have got through that cut without any problem. But sometimes we just try to force things, and we're not supposed to do that. The Lord says that, or the Lord says that He makes all things work for the good of those that love Him and are called according to His purpose. Well, my purpose today is to tell you that and to get this log milled. So no forcing the issue, y'all. Sit back and wait on the Lord. He makes all things work out for good for those that love Him. It worked. Y'all, the Lord's trying to teach me all kinds of things today. I think one of them is sometimes you just got to say no. I'm bad about not saying no when somebody needs something done. And this is just a really big log, y'all. I can't turn it by hand. I've already tried. It's too wide. Even with PVC pipes back there on my log stops, I can't get my clamps up high enough. The man wants a really wide slab, so I'm gonna get the excavator down here. It's not that I can't do it, y'all. It's just challenging. So I'm gonna get this done with the excavator and get it warmed up now. Now that I'm nice and toasty now, y'all. It's amazing what getting out here and doing a little work will do to warm me up. So let me fire up the excavator, warm it up, bring it down here, flip this log. We'll get it milled. It was taking me a second to figure out how I wanted to put this back on the mill. A lot of times you'll see me cheat, and what I mean by that is after my first cut, I'll roll the log and use that square side on the back side of my log stops, where a lot of times on bigger stuff, I'll have to roll it over like I have here, onto that face cut I've already made. So now I'll wedge it again with some blocks, try to get another cut on here without ripping a blade off again, and then I'll be able to stand it up, get my third cut for that third side, leaving a live edge. So that's the plan anyways. This is taking way longer than I had anticipated. Y'all, this has got to be the most challenging log I have ever tried to mill. Not paying attention. I knew I couldn't clear that thing coming back. Pop my blade off again. Sometimes you just get out here and you start working and you're like, maybe I shouldn't even be working today. And this, I can tell you, this is the only log I'm gonna mill. After this, I think I'll hose off that excavator because it's going to a job tomorrow with me. But I'm gonna get this man's slab done. And then I'm hanging up the saw blade for the day. Come on. You can do it. right, it may look like I'm done, but I'm not. Still got 2 more cuts to get down to the widest portion of this log. That's what the man wants. And it's better looking material too, because there's a gash in one side of this log, but it's the biggest log that I had in white oak, and that's what he wanted. So I'm gonna switch blades out, put me a fresh blade on so I can get a nice clean cut on this slab, and we'll be done. Y'all, this was a challenge. I don't know when I've had so much difficulty milling a log lately, but this one was a challenge. I think it was just because it was so large on the stump end, and it was just heavy. White oak, y'all, has got to be the hardest stuff I've ever cut. And that was with a fresh blade, cutting this final slab out of here, because I wanted the best finish that I could give the man. I don't know why it took so much effort today, but it's done, it's fixed. I've actually got 2 cut. He can pick whichever one he wants. But I think this is the best one, the final cut here. And I'm gonna put a tape on it real quick. We'll see just how wide it is. 17.5 at the widest point. And it's fairly consistent all the way down the log. And that's what the gentleman was asking for, and I was able to deliver, thank goodness. But I don't know how many of these jobs I'll take in the future. It's very labor intensive working with these oversized logs. But who knows, I'll probably have them on here again. Fortunately, we were able to move them around with the Mini. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to do it. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods Homestead. A little bit of reflection, a little bit of sawmilling, a little bit of trouble, but we overcame. Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week, and we'll see you on the next one. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high.